Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer.
March 24th represents one of the most significant Western equipment attrition days of the conflict. Crab, M777, Caesar, 2 Ratos, ANN TPQ-48, 6 systems destroyed. Combined with territorial gain at Peschanoye, this demonstrates Russia's ability to simultaneously advance and systematically eliminate high-value Ukrainian assets. 1,265 Ukrainian personnel were lost. 6 Western artillery systems, 3 EW stations, counterfire radars, 2 tanks, 11 depots, 259 drones. The pattern intensifies. Destroy the artillery, blind the guns. Destroy the radar, deafen the counter battery. Destroy the EW, silence the command, then advance. Peschanoye is the proof.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel, let's start with the overnight strike. The briefing describes a massive strike against defense industry enterprises that produce missiles and components, plus military airfields, all assigned targets engaged. How does this connect to the rest of today's operations?
This is the deep battle, the strategic layer of warfare that enables tactical success. Let me explain the connection. When you strike missile production facilities, you're not affecting today's battle. You're affecting next month's battle, next year's battle. Ukraine's ability to produce its own missiles, its own long-range strike capability, is being systematically degraded. When you strike military airfields, you're not just destroying runways. You're disrupting sortie generation, forcing Ukrainian aviation to operate from dispersed locations with longer transit times and less maintenance support. This is strategic paralysis applied to Ukraine's defense industrial base, and it's happening in parallel with the tactical operations we're about to discuss. The overnight strike sets conditions for the ground advances that follow.
Let's move to the territorial gain. Peschanoye is secured in the Kharkov region by the North Group. What's the significance of this settlement, and how does it fit into Russian advances in the north?
Peschanoye is in the Kharkov region, not the main effort, which remains Donetsk, but a continued expansion of Russian control in the northern sector. Every settlement secured pushes Ukrainian forces back, creates more space for Russian operations, and brings Russian artillery closer to the next line. But look at what else happened in the north sector today. A counterfire radar was destroyed, 5 material depots eliminated, 2 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, and a National Guard brigade engaged. 235 Ukrainian losses. The pattern is consistent. Destroy the radar so Ukrainian artillery fires blind. Destroy the depots so they run short. Attrit the units so they can't hold. Then advance. Peschanoye is the result of that sequence.
The western sector shows 2 tanks destroyed, 2 ammunition depots, and 190 Ukrainian losses. The unit list includes 3 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, and a territorial defense brigade. What stands out to you here?
2 tanks in one sector in one day is significant. Tanks are the backbone of mechanized warfare. They're hard to kill and harder to replace. Losing 2 in a single sector means Ukrainian armored capability there just took a meaningful hit. 2 ammunition depots means the units that lost those tanks are also running short on shells. 190 losses, steady attrition. The unit mix tells the same story we've seen elsewhere. Mechanized and assault units, professional forces, fighting alongside territorial defense, second-line troops. Ukraine is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
The southern sector is where the Western equipment toll begins. A Polish-made Crab self-propelled howitzer was destroyed. 2 Israeli-made Rade counter-fire radars were destroyed. 3 material depots eliminated. What's the significance of losing 2 radars in one day?
The Rada RPS-42 is an Israeli-made counterfire radar. It detects incoming artillery, traces it back to the firing position, and enables Ukrainian counter-battery fire. It's compact, mobile, and effective. Losing one Rada is painful. Losing 2 in one day in the same sector is catastrophic. Here's why. Counter-battery radar is what makes artillery duels survivable. Without it, your artillery fires blind. You don't know if your shells are hitting. You don't know where the enemy's guns are. And most critically, you don't know when enemy counter-battery fire is coming. By destroying 2 Radas in the southern sector, Russia has effectively blinded Ukrainian artillery there. Russian guns can now fire with significantly reduced risk. That's force protection and offensive capability in one. The Crab is Poland's NATO standard, mobile, and accurate 155mm self-propelled howitzer. Each Crab lost represents not just military capability, but political capital in Warsaw.
The center sector shows a US-made M777 howitzer destroyed, a French-made Caesar self-propelled artillery system destroyed, a US-made AN/TPQ-48 electronic warfare station neutralized, and 6 artillery guns total destroyed, plus 330 Ukrainian losses. This is the most significant Western equipment loss concentration we've seen. What does this tell us?
This is extraordinary. Let me list what Ukraine lost in the center sector today. A US-made M777, the backbone of American artillery. GPS, capable, precise, mobile. A French-made Caesar, a highly mobile 155mm howitzer that France has been selective about providing. Caesar is famous for its shoot-and-scoot capability. It's designed to fire and move before counter-battery fire arrives. A US-made AN/TPQ-48 electronic warfare station used to detect and jam enemy communications and drone signals. Plus, 3 other artillery guns, 6 total in this sector alone. 330 Ukrainian personnel, the highest sector total today. The center sector has been the focal point for weeks. Today, Russia demonstrated that it can not only inflict casualties there, but also systematically eliminate the highest value Western systems. M777, Caesar, AN/TPQ-48. These are not common losses. These are rare, high-value assets.
The eastern sector shows 3 artillery guns destroyed and 280 Ukrainian losses. The unit list includes 1 mechanized air assault, 2 assault, and 3 assault regiments. 3 assault regiments, what does that tell us?
3 assault regiments in one sector continues the pattern we've seen. Assault regiments are designed to attack, to lead breakthroughs, to conduct high-tempo operations. Using them defensively means Ukraine has run out of dedicated defensive units. 380 Ukrainian losses in east and center combined. Many from these assault units means Ukraine's best offensive troops are being attrited in a defensive role they weren't designed for. 3 artillery guns destroyed means fire support is degrading. The fact that all 3 were destroyed in one sector in one day suggests Russian reconnaissance has become extremely effective at identifying and targeting these systems.
The Dnieper sector shows 3 electronic warfare stations neutralized and 1 material depot destroyed, with only 50 Ukrainian losses. Why the continued focus on EW in this sector?
3 electronic warfare stations in one day in Dnieper continues the pattern we've seen for weeks. Dnieper is the rear area for the southern front, where reserve stage, logistics are coordinated, and command and control operate. By targeting EW stations here, Russia is disrupting Ukraine's ability to see and communicate across the entire southern theater. Each station destroyed means Ukrainian units somewhere lose jamming protection, communication security, and drone defense. 50 casualties is low because this is a deep strike sector, not heavy ground combat. But the effects are felt everywhere else. The 3 material depots mean the units that lost these systems are also running short on supplies.
Now let's address the operational tactical aviation and air defense summary. The overnight massive strike against the defense industry and missile production, plus strikes on transport infrastructure, long-range UAV preparation sites, and 142 temporary deployment areas. 259 UAVs destroyed. 10 guided bombs intercepted. What does this tell us about the air campaign's role?
The air campaign today had two distinct layers. First, the strategic layer. The overnight strike on missile production facilities and defense industry enterprises is about Ukraine's long-term capability. Destroy the factories, and Ukraine can't produce its own missiles. Destroy the component supply chain, and Western-supplied systems become harder to maintain. Second, the operational layer. Strikes on transport infrastructure disrupt the movement of reinforcements and supplies. Strikes on UAV preparation sites mean fewer drones launched tomorrow. Strikes on 142 temporary deployment areas mean units returning from the front never get there. 259 drones destroyed continues the pattern of blinding Ukrainian reconnaissance. 10 guided bombs intercepted mean Russian air defenses are protecting ground forces. The air campaign is enabling the ground campaign. Today, that enabling produced Peschanoye and 6 destroyed Western systems.
Colonel, we've covered every sector in the aviation campaign. Synthesize today's operations for us. What is the cumulative effect of March 24th on the Ukrainian armed forces?
Today is about the destruction of Ukraine's multinational artillery capability. 6 Western systems from 5 nations in one day. Let me list them again. A Polish Crab, 2 Israeli Radas, a US M777, a French Caesar, a US and TPQ-48. Each of these represents not just military capability, but political capital. Poland, Israel, the United States, and France, all invested in these systems. All will see them burning in satellite imagery. But the real loss is capability. Counter-battery radar lets you shoot back. Electronic warfare protects your communications. Self-propelled howitzers give you mobile, precise firepower. Destroy them, and Ukrainian artillery loses its ability to fight. Add the overnight strike on missile production, and Ukraine's ability to build its own weapons is degraded.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that adding the 330 casualties in the center, the 280 in the east, the 235 in the north, more than 1,200 personnel were lost. Add the 2 tanks, the depots, the 259 drones. The cumulative effect is that Ukraine's ability to fight an artillery war, the kind of war this has become, is being systematically dismantled. The guns are being destroyed, the radars that aim them are being destroyed, the factories that build their ammunition are being destroyed, the electronic warfare that protects them is being destroyed. March 24th is the day the multinational artillery coalition took a critical hit, and Peschanoye fell as proof of concept.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.